Today we have John Spittle with us, who is a regional training
specialist
with Garmin, and he's here today to introduce us to some of the Garmin products that many of us have, but I would think very few of us know how to actually use.
Well, good morning. I'm John Spittle, here with Dave, and we want to go through some setups, tips, and tricks with Garmin. We have a great new setup on his Robalo here. It's a 7610 XSV unit with a Garmin autopilot. We want to show you how simple and easy this unit is to use. It's a touchscreen unit, sunlight viewable, multi-touch pinch to zoom screen. There's a few things that we can go in and kind of dive into. Number one, when you first turn on the unit itself, it's going to come to the screen that you see here called Favorites. Favorites is a great place that you can actually add your most used screens throughout the day. So simply enough, I like to go down through and take a look at combos. And one of the most used screens that I use is this chart sonar combination. If I simply tap it with my finger and hold it, that'll actually dump it into my favorite screens up there. The next screen that I like to save to favorites is going to be navigation chart. Navigation chart, tap and hold. Now I've just created that onto my favorites tab. This unit's also equipped with the new GT51 transducer. That is an all-in-one transducer that allows you to see traditional chirp, clear view scanning chirp, and side view chirp. So we can see structure, fish, simply by just picking the screen that we want to choose. So on this one, what we're going to actually do is I'll pick and choose the traditional sonar, tap and hold that, and I've just added that to my favorite screen. So when you turn on the device in the morning and you're ready to go out, just simply tap Favorites, select your particular screen that you want to go ahead and utilize, and now you have navigation chart, traditional sonar on the top right, clear view sonar on the bottom right, and side view sonar on the bottom left. So that's a simple way to kind of start it off. The next thing I like to do is I go into settings. Settings is displayed on the bottom center of the screen here. Simply tap and hold that. I go to the system information, and the first thing that I like to take a look at is GPS information. Okay, so I can tell here with this built-in 10 Hertz GPS antenna that I'm picking up really good GPS signal currently. The one thing that I like to turn on though is if you see WAS and GLONASS. So WAS and GLONASS is actually going to help us two ways. First, WAS is going to get us a corrected signal. So it uses both land and satellites to give us a corrected signal to get us within 10 feet or better 95% of the time. So we'll simply turn on that. And then GLONASS. GLONASS is the Russian satellite system, so that allows us to track 24 additional satellites. And all that really does for us is give us a quicker acquisition time. So when we want to go in and know our current position, we turn the unit on, we're locked on to our position immediately. So we can turn on GLONASS. And those are just two things that I like to go ahead and utilize right away once I come into the unit.
That added more satellites in order to make a finer and finer determination of our location.
That is correct, yes, and quicker acquisition time. So when we're locking on our position, it actually works really well. Combos, we give you certain combos that are already preloaded, but the nice feature with Garmin is you have the ability to go in and customize your combos by simply pressing the menu button. And that's one thing to remember with Garmin. Anytime you want to change, customize, manipulate a particular screen, be it a handheld, a chart plotter, select the menu button, and that allows you to customize what's on the screen. So what we're going to do here is we'll go into menu, and on the top right it says add combo. All right, well, let's create our own custom combo.
Okay.
First thing that we can do is we could go in and name it if we wanted to, but in this case, we're going to just leave it as combo number 6. Next, layout. So you select layout and you get all these different boxes that we can actually pick and choose from. So here, we're going to select the lower left-hand corner here that gives us a 4-way layout. Now it says tap window to change or hold to rearrange. So let's go ahead and tap to add the particular information we want in that box. So first choice on the top right is going to be charts.
I like charts.
And since we already have a navigation chart in one of our combos, why don't we put in fishing charts? Fishing charts are preloaded in this unit. So when you buy a 7600 series, you already get your fishing charts, and you get all your lake charts to the US are already built into the unit themselves. So we'll go into fishing chart. Next, lower left, we're going to tap and add, and we'll come in here, and let's say that we want to go in and put our traditional chirp sonar in that area. Then I can come down here, and let's say that we want to go ahead and add another sonar, and we're going to do side view sonar and that. And what is really interesting on this unit here is we've got a Garmin autopilot. Well, we don't necessarily need the GHC20 display in order to control our Garmin autopilot. So let's come over here, add autopilot, and now I can actually control my autopilot right from my chart plotter.
Oh,
okay?
My good.
The next step down is going to be overlays. Okay? So under overlays, I can take a look, and sometimes that sidebar that you see, GPS speed, GPS heading, that might be a little bit too cluttered for some people. So let's just say we're going to take that particular information off. Okay? But what I do like a lot of times is top bar, I can go ahead and put my compass tape up there. So now I've got a compass tape, and I have completely customized this screen here under combos. And with that, like I was showing earlier, let me select the home button. So now I've just created combo number 6. What do I want to do next? I want to add that to favorites. Because I want to have a central screen.
Go-to screen.
Like your home screen on your smartphone. So what do? I simply tap it and hold it until a prompt comes up, favorites added, and now we'll go back to favorites. Now I've got 4 customized screens that I've actually put into this particular unit there. Simple, easy to use.
It's very ergonomic. I mean, it's really similar to an iPhone. I mean, the concept of touch, and it does what you expect it to do, as opposed to wondering what all these buttons mean, and the go back button and forward button, and doing the wheel and all these other systems that I've used over the years are really not user friendly. I mean, this is set up for, well, I think it's set up for me actually, because I think I can actually figure this out without too much trouble.
And we really, at Garmin, pride ourselves on the user interface, the ability for it to be easy to use. You don't want to come a month later to the boat and have to relearn your electronics. And with this, you don't have to. The other thing that really I like is the sunlight viewability of the screens. So they're nice and bright, very responsive touch screens.
Yeah, go through that for us.
Yeah, so with this here, we'll go into, just for instance, we'll go into charts and navigation chart. So with this unit here, it is preloaded with all your coastal charts of the U.S. and the Bahamas. It is a multi-touch screen, so I can pinch to zoom it. And we'll kind of zoom
by
out.
the way, we're in Fort Myers, Florida, filming this. We're on just off the Caloosahatchee River in the Gulf Harbor Marina, just to give you a little frame of reference when you see this map.
And same thing with this. Anytime that you want to customize what you see on the particular screen, or if you want to change your chart detail, select menu. I'm going to come in here in this example. I'm going to go ahead and turn on chart setup and chart appearance. And we ship these units with the chart detail is set up as normal, but you can crank that all the way up to most if you want more chart detail within the unit itself.
Really?
More buoy markers, more information on the screen itself.
Well, zoom in there, because one of the other very intimidating factors of Southwest Florida is the fact that we have a lot of shallow water, and we have a lot of changing depths with tides and currents, and a lot of people have had difficulty, just knowing where they are. So the idea of more detail on a chart, on a moving chart right in front of you, is priceless, really.
Absolutely, and you can see in this screen that we have here, we've actually got some tracks that we've already have in and out going through the red and green buoy markers. So it's a good idea, just for safety's sake, to take a safe boating course, get to know the rules of the road out there. What are you looking at when you see a red buoy marker or a green buoy marker? We try to make it easier by actually giving you some safety shaded areas here. So you can see when this gets down to really shallow areas, it starts to go into a darker shading. Yes. So we're really trying to alert you at that point that states, hey, this is an area that's shallow. We give you spot readings, and we can, just by this particular buoy marker, we've got 14 foot just off to the, in this instance, it would be off to the right-hand side of the boat, or the starboard side of the boat, as we were kind of heading in, and that's bringing us in the
miserable mile. That's the miserable mile.
The intercoastal waterway there. So we try to make it simple and easy. The other thing I like to let people know about too is, get a lot of, my nieces, nephews on the boat, and they're touching the screen, they're changing the screen. If we simply hit the power button on the top right of this once, don't hold it in, just quickly press it. If you notice, the third choice down there is lock touchscreen. So if I lock touchscreen, somebody can't go in there and actually change up the screen or mess around with it or anything like that. It's also where I can adjust my backlight. A lot of times I have people that'll come in here and say, I can't see the screen in sunlight, and they might have had that backlight turned way down. Oh. So I like to go ahead and crank it up, and you can see the screen really well in the sunlight.
Terrific.
Select back. There's also something down here that's called Disable All Sonar Transducers. It's important. Sonar, a transducer, is both a speaker and a microphone. Okay? It works really well and very efficiently in the water. But if you have a boat on a trailer and you're working on it, turn your transducer off. You don't want it pinging away all day long. It's almost like taking your home stereo and cranking it up full blast and letting those speakers pulse all day long. So we give you that ability right from this screen here, and then that's also where we can turn off the unit. Another nice feature on that is under Info, Tides and Currents. So I think you kind of talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yes.
You want to know where you are, but you also want to know the tide.
How the water.
Yeah. So we have all the tide and current information built into this unit, and it's obviously going to give us, our area, our current time. So we've got high tide this afternoon. So if you were dependent upon a certain draft of your boat, and you know that you needed to come in on a high tide, we know that this afternoon or early evening would be a good time to come in this particular area here.
I've got a question for you.
Sure.
There's one feature on this that captivated me and was actually one of the reasons I bought this unit in conjunction with the autopilot, is that it has the ability to put in a course for safe water depth to where you want to go, but it's instead of putting in waypoints and waypoints and waypoints, I understand you can put in the destination, and then it'll work it back through the plotter, through the depth of the water, et cetera, from the charts, in order to give you a safe route.
Yes.
Is that possible?
It certainly is.
Now that's impossible.
So that's actually a function of our G2 Vision card. So
Okay.
Blue Chart G2 Vision card is an accessory that you can add and purchase to this unit. Simply take it. It's on an SD card or micro SD card, depending on which Garmin unit that you actually have. So what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and we'll take it. This particular unit has 2 SD card slots. So we'll put it in there. It takes into account the minimum depth that you want to navigate in, the maximum bridge height that you want to navigate to, and then you can simply pick a point on the chart, select navigate to. Now remember, we're in a shallow marina here, so it's probably going to give me a warning here. So
It should.
I get actually 4 choices: auto guidance, go to, route to, or follow track. Without the card, I'm going to just get the go to, route to, and follow track.
That's a straight line.
Yep, and that's a straight line. That's as
That
the
is
crow
kinda
flies.
gonna help us.
So the auto guidance allows us to come in here, and if you notice with this, it gives me a warning because we've got some really shallow water that we're navigating to, but I just picked a point on the chart, and it gave me that suggested route to that particular path. With the latest version of G2 Vision, I can actually come in and adjust that path. So if I feel that I'm going a little bit too close to land, or I want to stay, further away, I can come in and adjust that path in here. You can also customize any of your G2 Vision information for your vessel. So maybe my maximum depth, might be, or minimum depth, I should say, might be 6 feet because I've got a larger vessel.
Yes.
So just keep in mind. But yeah, G2 Vision card, it's a great addition. It not only gives you the auto guidance feature, but it also does satellite overlays. It's great for that cruiser, coastal cruiser, person that's looking for information. When I go down to the Keys and I'm not familiar with a particular area, what's really nice is I can put in Bud and Mary's, have it navigate me, give me a suggested route to that point, and then I can follow that along. So now I start to learn that particular area.
Yes.
So G2 Vision is very beneficial on this particular unit here.
Well, that was a very, very good introduction to the Garmin marine systems that we have on our boat today. And I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial with our representative, our regional
Training specialist
for Garmin.
So if you wanted any more information, go on to Garmin.com, or you can contact customer support at 1-800-800-1020. Thanks very much.